Now, before we get into actual calculations, we need to remember the order of operations. I know this is a math concept. I apologize for giving you math in a not math class, but this is kind of important. Remember PEMDAS? Remember that stupid word? Like, that's going to help us remember anything. That's a word that means nothing, so it's just another thing to remember something else. I'm not sure why that helps us. Somebody needs to come up with a better acronym than this, but it stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, and then addition and subtraction. We go from left to right, always. And so when I have something like this, right, if I follow PEMDAS, I can solve this correctly, even though it's got a lot of stuff going on, right? I can say this becomes 5, and then inside this parentheses, I'm going to go exponents, right? 4 to the 5th power. Who knows what that is? I don't. So let's just say 200. Who cares? And then we've got multiplication times 2 and plus 3. So next is this. So we say it becomes 400 and then 3. So 403. This is obviously not the right answer, but I'm not the kind of guy who does that kind of math in my head. Okay, so now we have, if we write this again, we've got 5 plus 4 times 403 plus 30 divided by 6. Okay, so next I've got multiplication division going from left to right. So 4 times 403 is 1612. And then we've got 30 times 6, which is 5. And then we've got 5 over here. So we've got 1600 and what is that? 22. Something like that. Except this number is totally fake, by the way. So those of you that are going to be haters and tell me the right answer, just save it. All right, so that's how we apply those. Important thing about that isn't so that we can solve math problems, it's so that we can put formulas into Python in a way that causes Python to read them properly. Because when we put a formula into Python, if we're not following those rules, it's like we're speaking a different language, right? Math, the reason we have PEMDAS is because somewhere in history, some mathematician said, we should all agree that we do things in this order. So that when I write down a formula that means something and you read it, we both agree on what that means and how it should be read. It's exactly like any other language. Math is just a language of numbers used to communicate ideas. And so if we're not all speaking the same language, if you're not speaking the same language that Python speaks, then the formula that you type into Python is not going to be what you think it is. So it's important to remember that. This will become immediately useful to you because in this assignment, we'll be doing some math.